Okay, so hold on tight with me for just a bit longer and we will finish up our English grammar. So last week, because we got so interested in the Fibonacci sequence, which I really do ask you to watch a video or two today, just not Google, with your mom, go to YouTube and look up Fibonacci sequences in nature. It's so exciting. Anyway, and then go outside and find some. So we're going to be looking at English grammar. We're going to be looking at questions 29, 30, and 31, and they all kind of go together. So the first thing we're going to be looking at, we're actually going to go a smidge. I was going to say we're going to go backwards, but no, we're going to start right at 29 and then go down. You can say hello. You can say hello, Sonia. Okay, so let's look at this. I hope this is enough light.
Cut that part out
For you guys to see. Sorry for the dizziness. I'm just trying to scoot you closer so that you can see these on the board better. Okay, can you see that well? Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is what is a verb phrase. So a verb phrase is made up of a main verb and one or more helping verbs. So if you have just the sentence, I walk, you just have one verb. You've got one main verb. So that's not going to be a whole verb phrase. Let's find out what is included in a verb phrase when we use the word helping verbs. And a lot of you already know this. So when you would answer this, what is a verb phrase? A verb phrase is made up of a main verb and one or more helping verbs. And our example is, I have been walking for an hour, or I should have walked yesterday. So let's go ahead and underline the entire verb phrase here. Can you find the helping verbs and the verb phrase? If you said have been walking, you're exactly correct. Have been walking is the whole verb phrase. What about this one? I should have walked yesterday. Can you find the whole verb phrase? Good. Should have walked is our whole verb phrase. I think it's kind of funny because I feel like that they should give you the helping verbs before we talk about verb phrases that have helping verbs. So let's go straight to the helping verbs. Give the common helping verbs. The common helping verbs are do, does, did, has, have, had, am, are, is, was, were, be, being, been, may, must, might, should, could, would. I like it going should, could, would. Should, could, would, shall, will, can. Now you might notice that your book has them listed differently. If you have memorized these in a different order, maybe to a song or a chant, please just keep the way that you have memorized it in your noggin. And then that way it'll stay put. So I'll sing you my little ditty. And so that way you can learn it to a song if you don't already have one. Do, does, did, has, have, had, am, are, is, was, were, be, being, been, may, must, might, should, could, would, shall, will, can. All right, let's do that one more time, and maybe this time you'll sing with me. Do, does, did, has, have, had, am, are, is, was, were, be, being, been, may, must, might, should, could, would, shall, will, can. So those are our helping verbs. A helping verb plus a main verb is going to be your verb phrase. So when you're identifying your verb phrase, your eyes are open, scanning for any of these helping verbs. So let's go over here and let's practice a few of these right here from question 30. I have been looking at the kangaroo, which is a true statement. Do you want to see my true statement?
I've gotten kissed by a kangaroo.
So, Lainey in our class has a cousin that wasn't content with dogs or cats and now has a kangaroo Voila, I wasn't telling a story in my sentence. Look at that. Kangaroo, me, petting the said kangaroo. I don't even have to tell you all how excited I was about petting the kangaroo. I'm pretty sure you can imagine. So, I have been looking at the kangaroo. So we're looking for the whole verb phrase here, the whole verb phrase. So, do we have any helping verbs? Let's look here. Do we have any helping verbs that are going to show up over here? Yes. Have, been, and then our main verb is looking. Have and been are helping verbs, and our main verb is looking. So we'll underline the whole section there. Let's look at number 2. I should have walked the platypus. Now, I didn't get to see a platypus, but I think they're such awesome animals. I tend to think that they are the animals that after God created mammals and amphibians and birds and all of the other creatures, he thought, I'm going to throw one in here that's going to blow everybody's mind because it's going to be a mammal that lays eggs, has the tail of a beaver, and the bill of a duck. So, I would walk a platypus, but I haven't yet. So, I should have walked the platypus. Let's look right here. Should have walked. Let's look. Do you see should and have? Should have walked. Good. Now our last one is, I meant to check the spelling of Timbuktu. I forgot about that. If any of you find that I spelled it incorrectly, please text me. She will come to Timbuktu. So she will come to Timbuktu. Let's look for helping verbs. I've seen a couple. We only have will. And come is our main verb. So we underline that as our whole verb phrase. Now, let's look back. Let's just go on to this week's and look at this week's sentence. Give the first English verb tenses and an example using walk. I walk. So, the first 3 English verb tenses are present, past, and future. Just plain. Present, past, and future. Not any extra words added to them because we'll do that later. Present, past, and future. So when we would give this, our question would be, give the first 3 English verb tenses and an example using I walk. The first 3 English verb tenses are present, I walk, past, I walked, and future, I will walk. If it's a regular verb, not one of those crazy irregular verbs, all you're going to do is add an ed at the ending. And for the future, you will add either I or shall. You will add either will or shall. I will walk, I shall walk. So let's look right here. My teacher will help me. What verb tense would that be? Remember, the future will always have will or shall. The past will always have ed. If you said future, you're exactly correct because she isn't helping me now, but she will help me in the future. My teacher will help me. How about number 2? She jogged to the park. She jogged to the park. Our clue is in this ed. It tells us that it happened in the past. And number 3, Jack, if this is true, I want to know. Jack reads 1,000 pages a day. Jack reads 1,000 pages a day. If you said, I should have put past here. If you said present, you are exactly right. If you said present, you are exactly right. The presents are usually going to be just the plain verb or a verb with S. So those are some of our clues. Sometimes your verbs will have ing, but a lot of times it will just be the plain verb or a verb with S, like I praise, you praise, he, she, it praises. They praise, you all praise. No, we praise, you all praise, they praise. Let's try that again with I shout. I shout, you shout, he, she, it shouts. We shout, you all shout, they shout. See how handy our little Latin boxes come in with our English grammar. So this week, if you haven't worked on Lesson 18, go ahead and do that first. And then move on to Lesson 19 with your verbs. And be practicing, because hopefully when we get back together, we can have a fun review game based on all of our questions and our answers. I hope you guys have a great day.